Oh, that's really cool. I like that. What's up, Exley's on the NFL. Jesus Christ. Tony and Stephen. Wow, we're on opposite sides this week. Wow, that's weird, mate. That threw me out then. So you're that way and I'm that way. Yeah, so fuck's sake. Stephen. Nope, Stephen. Tony. Why is he like that? That's weird. Anyway, Exley's on the NFL and we are going to, I'll be saying it now at the beginning so everyone hears it, we are going to go down to fortnightly videos while the season is at a dead stop and there's nothing really going on. This week, we have been mostly looking at cap space for the teams going into the new season.
See who's actually got some.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few bits and pieces going on. Matthew Stafford with Tom Brady having a little cheeky chin wag. You sent me that one a little while ago. There has actually been a fair bit going on if you look at. Let me just mute the sound on my phone.
Problem with some of it, though, is half of it's rumours and stuff. It's not confirmed.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of it will be for a little while because, of course, you can't.
You can't say it's definitely that.
A lot of it's going to be they're going to want to take people in free agency, but of course, free agency won't start for a month.
Yeah, so we've got the cap space for 2025 salary cap space. I mean, at the top is the New England Patriots, and what have they got? $119,801,000 hairs. And then they've got the most money to spend.
Yeah.
The Saints are dead stop. The
Saints have got negative
54,112,000, right? And their dead money is 48,432,000.
Yeah.
You look at
the Saints
what they need.
A lot of space.
Yeah, they need a lot. New England Patriot need fucking hell. Offensive tackle, cornerback, edge rusher, wide receiver, D lineman, tight end, IOL. That is
outside linebacker.
Yeah, running back, a left back, a safety, a QB, a punter, a kicker, and another left safety. No,
long snapper.
Fuck's sake, yeah. Mate, honestly, I don't know what is wrong with me because you asked me this, not on this, and I know what I'm talking about. I honestly do know what I'm talking about. So, what are the Patriots going to get?
I mean, it all depends what they go, because the thing is, you got to think about is, well, of course, we've got to go through the draft, and obviously taking people through the draft process is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So it all becomes this thing of who's coming up through the draft that they're keeping an eye on, who's coming up in free agency that's worth taking. Because obviously a lot of teams want to get a QB in, but they want to get a veteran QB for backup as well.
Yeah, I was just literally... Because I should have opened this up before.
The Falcons are supposedly keeping Kirk Cousins on.
Yeah, as QB2?
Yeah. Stupid money. Is it like 40 million a year or something stupid? 45 million a year?
Yeah, the NFL draft. I should have opened this right beforehand because come on, there's so many people on the internet. It is slow at the moment. Right, so let's look at positions. They need a QB, don't they?
Not for Falcons. They got Penix Jr.
No, I'm on about Patriots.
Patriots, I would say so.
Being that they are...
Well, they might stick with Drake May. I mean, they took Drake May last season.
Yeah.
So they more need a veteran to back him up, pass on decent knowledge.
Rather than bring on Rodgers. He's going begging.
Rodgers, I think, is going to have trouble this season.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is looking for a place to set his mark again. maybe he could
I don't
set
think
up
he's going
shop
to.
in the Pats. That's a true bet there, though, isn't it?
It's a true vet, but you ain't going to get a starter job in a good team. You know, it's like the only place he could succeed is somewhere like Eagles, Minnesota, Green Bay. You know, somewhere that's got some half decent players already, or
Yeah.
some really good players already. Pittsburgh, you know, all the teams that are in need of a possible QB aren't necessarily looking for his skills.
No, I'm trying to find the draft order. First thing, so DR brings up draft order 2025. I was trying to see how far into the draft they are. If they were to go QB.
So yeah, I don't think they're drafting QB because they've got Drake May. They are fourth. But some of their biggest needs, though, are their offensive tackles.
Yeah. So
that's part of their big problem. Drake May can't do anything if nobody's blocking for him. And they need some receivers. If he's got nobody to throw to, what's the point of even trying?
There is. I mean, I was looking at QBs. Shador Sanders and Cam Ward are high-ish first-round picks. They're 6 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation whether they'll be either of them will be taken in the top 5 because it's not a huge QB draft this year. It's not many big prospects that people are climbing over each other to try and get.
Yeah. You've got Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle. He's a 320-pounder, man. He's got a rating of 89.5. And he's from Texas Longhorns. He's Texas Longhorns. And then you got Will Campbell, 323 pounds from LSU. So there's 2 in the top 12 already. And they're 4th. So if they need offensive tackles, would you go offensive tackle first round?
I mean, for someone who's had a notoriously bad front 5, I feel like you've got to.
Yeah, 100%.
They've got a pretty decent QB with Drake May if he can progress well this season. So why not try and actually protect him?
Yeah, it makes sense. Use what you've got. Get new offensive tackles. Get all your linemen sorted out, your wide receivers sorted out. Keep the QB. Develop him some more.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they were so bad for last season. They showed up in all the wrong times against the wrong teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when it's like that, you need to do something. And you're not going to be able to solve problems in all 3 aspects of the game in one season.
No, definitely not. Oh, mate, my chest.
So I kind of feel like they're in a rebuild almost.
They need to.
They've just got a new head coach in. He needs somewhere to put Drake May and say, stay in the pocket and pass. Now, if you can't because your line's bad and you've got to scramble all the time and you're not a scrambler, then it's going to be a big problem.
They do need a quarterback. And Travis Hunter is first round. He's ranked number 1.
But they could take him as a receiver.
I think from what I heard at the combine, he only went in as a cornerback.
No, I heard that he's listed as on both receiver and cornerback lists.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh. He played more snaps as a cornerback, I believe.
But
he played both sides.
Yeah, he's announced he wants to play both in the NFL.
I think that's a dangerous way to play it.
Yeah, 100%.
Someone of his skill set shouldn't be on both sides of the ball for every game.
No,
he shouldn't be wide receiver 1 or cornerback 1 if he's going to play both sides of the ball like that.
You
can't.
You physically can't because you can't even play half. If you're going to play both sides of the ball, you can't even play half the snaps because you won't come off. You won't ever come off the field.
I think that's what he done in college, though, wasn't it?
Not all the time, though. He'd be too worn out. You spend the whole time on the field. You can't play a whole game as physical as NFL and spend the whole time on the field.
Yeah.
He's not a big dude either. He's quite skinny. He's muscly. Don't get me wrong.
He's 185 pounds, so he's about my size.
Yeah.
He's a lot more athletic.
There's no way either of us are
Mm.
spending 60 minutes on an NFL field.
No, definitely not. Mate, I'm fucked. I've got 2 games coming up. The 16th of next month. So we'll see how hard that is. They're like 20-minute games. So that's going to be like 20 minutes. And I'm only playing defense as well. I'm only playing...
You're only playing one side.
Yeah, so we will see. Wait 1 minute. Let me grab something. Let me pause it. Blind reaction. Check out my new flags.
They actually, hang on, let me full screen so I can see it. Okay, they look pretty cool.
They're sick, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that was, I said the head coach won some flags.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl from Big Papa is the company name, and he done a deal, and he got 1 set of them in that style, and then the rest are black with toxic written on them.
Okay.
And he gave that set to me because I said I really liked them and I was going to buy them, but he gave them to me. So if he is watching this, konnichiwa. That's not even thank you in Chinese or Japanese. I'm just being a fucking idiot. That's really cool. I really appreciate that he gave them to me. And
yeah,
that's off topic, but something sparked in my head when I said that we've got a game coming up. Reminded me. Anyway, I digress. We're not going to run through all 32 teams on this list because we
I think you should kind of cover the big names sort of thing almost.
Yeah.
One team I did want to mention that is in a bit of a shite show, I would say. Is where is it? Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Now they've got big problems coming up. They got roughly 2.5 million to spend.
Yeah, and they've
just paid Dak and CeeDee Lamb insane money for both of them.
Yeah, they're 12th on the draft, and they have 9 million, just over 9 million in dead money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you look at their offensive grade and their defensive grade is 78.9 and 79.9.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even if you don't just look at grading and look at the team, can you name, apart from Ezekiel Elliott, who's been let go, can you name anyone else outside of CD or Dak on that team?
No.
I don't know anybody on that team. Like, there's no standout players.
Their main what they need, right? Because they've got Dak. He is a good QB.
Dak is. I'm not saying shit on him.
When he's playing in the game and fully healthy, can make the connections. He doesn't have the people to make the connections with.
No, that's the biggest.
QB is not a need for them, but they do need a running back. They do need a wide receiver. They do need a tight end.
According to this list I'm looking at, they need running back, wide receiver, defensive line, edge, offensive tackle, linebacker, and I mean, they essentially need almost the whole defense, apart from safety and cornerback. And apart from QB, they need an entire offense. They're not getting that in free agency. They haven't got the money to, unless they make some big cuts.
They are 12th, right? And I'm going to say that he's going to go really quick because he's first round. They're saying it's going to be like second round pick, but Ashton Genty would be a killer running back for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but the problem with that is they're 12th. It's being predicted.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're never going to get him
unless they make a trade. They're not getting Genty,
and that's going to be a last minute.
Cowboys last couple of years haven't made any big splashes like that.
No, it's going to be a pucker your bum cheeks and hope for the best kind of.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for the Cowboys fans. Jerry Jones is in charge of it. So he's notorious for taking the reins, taking charge of it, and not letting the GM or head coach tell them what they need.
Yeah,
and go after it. So that's going to be an interesting off-season for them.
Yeah, definitely. If I could sit and talk about this for absolutely hours, how much they've got to spend, what they could get, because I'm not saying I could build an amazing team. But if you were looking at the money Patriots, Raiders, and stuff have got, you can get some good players. You've
Yeah,
just got to be smart about it.
I think the problem is for a lot of these teams, it just comes down to what they're willing to offer in a single contract, and that's where GMs like Howie Roseman really become effective. And skilled.
He's a very good negotiator.
Yeah, he negotiates a lot of it instead of as part of a salary across multiple years.
Yeah,
they tend to get bigger like signing bonuses and stuff.
Yeah, so
a lot of that money comes up front, and then they produce good players. It doesn't always work.
You look at the Eagles, though. They got 18 million cap to spend. They've got effective 13, but they've got nearly 30 million dead.
Yeah. I think some of that is paying people like Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey and stuff. Howie could be quite savvy. I mean, if the rumours are true and he takes Myles Garrett but gets rid of Josh Sweat, I think that's a bit of a trade. We don't really gain cap space, but we don't really lose it, but we get another really good player, and it becomes a salary problem, say, next year or the year after.
I think Myles Garrett would fit really well with the Eagles.
I think he would. I think it would also make the offensive line very dangerous.
The Eagles are dangerous anyway. Add another weapon to that team, and you guys could be talking a 2P.
There's also rumours that Vic Fangio's staying on for another year,
Nice.
Which apparently wasn't the plan. He was going to be here for 1 year, get everything set up, and go.
Right.
So, I mean, look what he did with our defense in one season. So imagine what happens if he's given another year.
Yeah.
With all of the draft prospects we had from last year coming up as well. And a few of them got a bit of play time because, I mean, you look at it, what was it, halfway through the fourth quarter, a load of them got some play time. The second half or something of the last game in the regular season, loads of them got play time.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know how to say it really, because like you could say Saquon thinks about every person on the team, but it seems that every person on the team thinks about every person on the team.
Yeah,
he's unselfish franchise.
Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore all turned that team into a team of let's think about the next man.
Yeah.
And if one man goes down, the next man up's got to be prepared to step into that role and go just as hard.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about who's going to be taking over from that person. Let's get that person some play time. Let's get that person some play time.
Yeah, and a lot of the backups were good backups. And so if we lose some of them, some of the starters like Josh Sweat, there are people who can be put in his place. I mean, Nolan Smith played his ass off in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely.
He wasn't supposed to be a starter, but
played well.
He played well. Got one of the was it 6 sacks we had in the Super Bowl?
6 sacks in the Super Bowl, mate. Jesus. I did see a thing about the list of teams that never made it past the halfway line in their first. Didn't make it past the halfway line. I think it was in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And there's only one team on it. The Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
That was insane to not get past the halfway point before halftime.
Yeah. What was that? Is that your phone? I just said a boop boop.
Nothing to me.
It's like call waiting. I don't think I've got call waiting.
So, as I say, you know, what Vic Fangio's done with this defense in one season, if he stays on for 2, he could get some good stuff implemented and make him a very dangerous team, especially if we get the likes of Myles Garrett.
Yeah, 100%.
And who knows what they're going to do in the draft? I mean, this reckons we need edge, D-line, linebacker, which is the front sort of 7. Yeah. If they can re-sign Zach Bourne, get Myles Garrett, keep Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, you know, there's a lot they can do. I think a big part of it, though, will depend on whether Brandon Graham comes back for another year.
That hasn't been decided yet, I don't think, has it?
I don't think it has. There's no news on it. But I mean, what a way to go out. He played in the Super Bowl, got his second ring.
Yeah.
He tore his tricep and managed to make it back for the Super Bowl and play.
Who tore their tricep in the Super Bowl and still played?
Nolan Smith.
That's
what I'm
a
saying.
different kind of man.
He was a beast.
Yeah, definitely.
And he still partied with the parade.
So, I want to talk about Green Bay, but I don't want to talk about Green Bay because
they've got quite a bit of cap space according to my list. They got 49 million.
Yeah.
With only 18 in dead money.
Where are we? Mate, where are we on the list there?
I'm on over the
yeah. Oh, it's really slow at loading. Our last game was against you. Yes, yeah. I know that. Yes, we need.
It wasn't as bad as we beat the Chiefs, though.
No, it wasn't.
Beat the brakes off the Chiefs.
Okay, stop embarrassing the fans. You make them cry. They're going to come out and make us cry.
Where are Green Bay sitting on? You're going to be quite far down because you made the playoffs.
Yeah. So we need a cornerback, edge rusher, D lineman, wide receiver, offensive tackle, running back. We don't need a running back, though. We've got Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, but I think what they're saying is you need to look at the future.
Yeah.
I mean, we took three running backs in the last year. So we had Saquon, obviously. Kenneth Gainwell, who I think we're going to lose to free agency. He's up this year.
I am looking on there.
We took 2 in the draft time. Mm-hmm. One, I believe we drafted. One was, I think, unsigned free agent. We've just signed another one to the active roster. So I think
I'm currently looking at our roster.
How many you got?
None.
Was Josh Jacobs a 1-year deal?
According to this, we don't have any running backs. We got halfback, AJ Dillon.
Some get listed as a halfback, not as actually as a running back.
Yeah. So Chris Brooks, Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon is not with us anymore. Josh Jacobs is halfback.
Yeah. So's Saquon, technically.
Yeah. So it just makes it a little bit more confusing when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
When you're scrolling down, I'm scrolling down. So we've got 5. One, Chris Brooks, Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, AJ Dillon, Josh Jacobs. And he
signed a 4-year, $48 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
So you got him till 2027 unless he's traded.
He came 3rd out of 59. That was his position rank.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Derrick Henry and Saquon, he would have been the leading rusher of the season.
Yeah. We definitely need a quarterback because
I think Giants will get traded.
Yeah. But we do have more. Camo Hayden, Kalen King, Carrington Valentine, Javon Bullard, Keeson Nixon, Isaiah Dunn, and Jaya Alexander, Robert Rochelle. I mean, Nixon's really good, and Valentine are really, really good.
Name a few times this season.
Yeah, they are both really good. They made a lot of plays. They kept it. I mean, you could say that we lost a few games, but our key cornerback was Alexander, and he got injured. He was out. Yeah, most of the season. He was out for a lot of the season. Wide receivers, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But
after he says we only have.
Yeah, but they're not reliable enough.
I was going to say, a part of your problem is, and don't get me wrong, Jaden Reed, who was that one I sent you the thing about?
Maybe.
Deep ball guy?
Yes.
He's great when you lob that ball down the field. He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think his biggest problem is he doesn't seem to be so productive unless it's a deep ball.
Yeah, we lost Christian Watson, and I don't know where the injury status of that. Being the off season, I don't remember if they said he'd be back next season. because
Yeah.
it was quite a bad, I want to say ACL and MCL.
I was gonna say it was a couple, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was like a double whammy, if I remember
Mhm.
rightly.
I like everybody on the team. There's not a player I could say, yeah, we'll get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? Tight end Tucker Craft is
Tucker Craft's
outstanding.
been progressing all season.
All season he's been outstanding. But we could just deep dive into this all day.
Interestingly, KC is apparently listed as needing a tight end.
Yeah. I believe Travis Kelce's playing one more season.
Yeah, well, he's got another season on his contract, and I'm pretty sure he's sort of said that he's going to fulfill his contract.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to rush any decision. I'm quitting, rah, rah, rah. You know, I don't know how much play he's going to have.
I don't know.
Because they're going to have to look at their future. At this point,
his career. I did see that he was apparently battling an illness during the Super Bowl, so that's why he only got 4 catches and didn't play as great as he normally does.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these things have been coming out since the Super Bowl. Mahomes was battling some illness, apparently, and, you know,
Yeah,
I've seen about 3 of them.
I think he had shit the bed-itis.
I like that one. But, you know, there's all sorts that comes out after a big loss like that. But at the end of the day, the Eagles 2 years ago lost it. You've just got to man up, say, look, we lost it, we fucked up, we got to move on to the next season.
Yeah. I mean, what going forward in this podcast right now, we can't deep dive into every team like we would do normally. And I think we should just stick to fuck off. No, don't fuck off.
I think the interesting ones are going to be Saints and Browns. Saints, obviously, because they're so far into the hole. The Browns are apparently 24 million in the hole. And they're still paying Deshaun Watson $50 million a year. Who apparently tore his ACL. Was it ACL?
I don't know. I can't remember.
But he fucked his ankle twice in a season.
Yes, he did. Who are we talking about?
Deshaun Watson on the Browns.
My brain.
The QB that was supposed to be saving their season and then tore something and was out.
Okay. Ruptured right Achilles heel.
Achilles, that's right.
Ruptured his Achilles tendon.
Yeah. And then, like, near the end of the season, he supposedly retore it. Right when he was supposed to be looking at coming back. I
don't think, right, you can rush something like that, and maybe he rushed it and really...
The reason they're saying this story's now come out is apparently there was photos of him seen at a nightclub when he was supposed to be rehabbing.
I think I've seen a video of him doing a TikTok as well.
Yeah.
And he could be in a little bit of a boo-boo.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be an interesting one. If they let him go, I don't know how much they're going to save.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that would bring out for them.
No, I don't know if he stays, if they save anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think what happens with that in the off-season is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look. His 2025 cap hit is apparently 72 million.
That's his cap hit.
Apparently
the Browns currently have negative 38 million effective cap space.
Yeah, so if they could get rid of him and save 50 million, that puts them back in the black.
Yeah, and they could potentially get a decent QB and
he's
save the Browns.
Not free agent until 2027.
That's next season. Jeez.
No, it's not. It's the year after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking like the season after next.
which he will then be 32.
We've seen QBs go longer though. QBs seem to play a lot longer than a lot of other players. I mean, it is a skill-based player, but a skill-based position.
Well, yeah,
But
but
you can play
according
it
to
longer.
this website, his last 2 seasons have been plagued by injury. At 30, are you going to want to take a QB who's had 2 injury-plagued seasons? Very questionable when he is playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's...
Yeah. So, should we tackle the Saints and then we'll stop for the day, for the night?
The Saints is an interesting one. I mean, Kellen Moore, their new head coach, obviously is going to have his work cut out.
Yeah.
You know, then you're that far already in the hole, which is what, 47 million according to Over the Cap, with a dead cap here of 48 million, which isn't the worst of the teams.
Yeah.
You've got to seriously look at your star players that are signed for big money.
Yeah. Who do you let go?
Yeah.
Max Crosby's looking to get out. He's Raiders. I don't know why I said that.
But if they could get a swing a trade for one of their star players for someone like Max Crosby, he could be a difference maker there.
Oh, 100. Man's an animal. He can make a lot of difference. Why the friggin' hell is my camera all like focus?
So
Come on, sausage.
I mean, according to the mock draft base, one of New Orleans' needs is an edge guy for the draft. So if they could swing a trade for Max Crosby, that would take the need off of that, and allow them to focus on some of the other keys that they need, which is apparently wide receiver, offensive tackle, tight end, cornerback, D-line, and QB, which are some pretty big needs.
That is some big needs, really, isn't it? When you think about it in the long run of everything that they need and how far down. It's still... One sec, my camera's doing my head, and it's my camera. I don't know. It was good till I moved it, and now I moved it, and it won't focus on me. I'm an alien.
I'm just trying to find... Saints are 9th on the draft list.
Right.
So, according to NFL News, Saints should once again be looking for an edge defender early in the draft. Chase Young might find a new home in free agency. The team declined the 5th-year option on former first-round pick Peyton Turner and Cameron Jordan, who can 36 years old this summer. So I think all 3 of them could possibly be let go to try and save some money.
They need to do something to clear up some space to...
Well, Chase Young's on a big contract, I believe. So
I'm just trying to see
how much he's going to save them if they don't re-sign him, because he was one of the good things for the team, if that makes sense. I think they almost need to take the loss this season coming up.
Yeah.
On the season overall. Trim down, get some young players in as much as they can through the draft and build them for a year.
Oh, here we go. Edge rushers.
Because I don't know who's in the draft that's going to make much of a difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like coming up to the draft, you don't see a great deal about the edge rushers.
No, who've we got?
Like we can't over here watch the college games as much. You don't see masses of college games, and it is a pain in the ass because you don't get to see everything that is happening. Mate, you don't get to see everyone that's coming into the draft.
They've got 25 listed as edge rushers in the draft. Now, all of them aren't going in the first round, that's for sure.
No.
But Abdul Carr is the one that people have been talking about. I've heard about him.
I was just looking at him.
I think he's possibly going to go in the first round. I think it all depends who ends up in the top 10 with a pick that's that desperate for an edge rusher.
Saints.
Saints, yeah. Browns, Titans, Patriots listed. I'm looking at the draft and who's listed as needing an edge rusher. Panthers, so there's quite a few that are listed as needing an edge. Yeah.
Bears, I think they're third.
Bears are 10th.
Are they 10th?
Yeah. But you got the Bears,
Oh,
you've
you're
got
right, yeah.
Saints, Panthers. Who else we got? Jacksonville. No, not Jacksonville. Patriots, Browns, and Titans. So there's half the top 10 need an edge. I think this year, Titans are going to give up that first.
Yeah.
Someone's going to give them a good offer because they've said they're not swapping, but they'll be open to offers. Now, if you're open to offers, there's something
you will swap.
There is something you want in the top 20, say.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to go first, but you want more draft picks overall to get. I think to get developmental pieces.
100%, yeah.
So you get more in the later rounds, develop them.
Mm-hmm.
Or start. I mean, it all depends. I mean, I don't know how Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell both fell so far to the Eagles.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
I mean,
Cooper
they both played the second round.
And they're both amazing players. Sometimes it isn't.
Cooper got the pick 6 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sometimes it's not how high you're picked, it's how well you. Well, it's not how high you're picked. You look at Caleb Williams, first round pick.
He was the first pick.
Yeah, exactly. And he hasn't played amazing this season.
He's played like an okay top 10 QB from the draft.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's played like the number 1 overall pick. But I also think a lot of that is to do with the Bears team overall.
Yeah, they
so it reckons they need OGC. Yeah, so they need a whole front line. Offensive guard, tackle. Yeah. Are apparently in big need of upgrades. So what do you do? I mean, they've desperately got to do something. Really. But what's their? I mean, they've got 80 million nearly in cap space, so they could make some moves in free agency. They are the 4th highest with cap space, so they've only got 4 million in dead money this season.
That's really good. They've obviously been wise with the money.
Well, that's probably why they had a shit season.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think this offseason is going to be interesting. There's a few teams desperate for players, but with money for free agency. A few teams desperate for players with no money.
Yeah, I can't wait for the draft, mate. I want to see who gets who, where people go.
Yeah,
there's a fair few that I've been like, he's sick. Shador Sanders, Shiloh Sanders.
I think some of them though aren't going to go where they hope.
No, and I think some of them have been way overhyped.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Travis Hunter a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that.
I was going to say Shador Sanders.
Shador Sanders is the other one, I would say.
Yeah.
They're the 2 big ones. But I think the thing with Travis Hunter is if you look at him in either position singly as just a wide receiver or just a cornerback, he's not the top of his position.
No.
Like a lot of these star players that come out. He can play great at either position, but he's not top 1, top 2, top 3.
Yeah.
Top 5 maybe, but he's not going to be able to play consistently both sides of the ball.
No, it's not going to be possible, is it?
Not for an entire season. It's just
I've got X open on my other screen right now, and the Niners and Brock Purdy have begun contract negotiations.
That was coming, let's be honest. What's the Niners got? Yeah, I mean, they've apparently got 50 mil of cap space. So they can make quite a good offer for him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Should we wrap it up there? And see, because we can't just go deep diving into every team's wants and needs. We'll be here for 7 days and 2 years.
God damn. I've got X up as well. I've just had a notification come up from ML Football. Eagle star linebacker N'Kobe Dean says that his kneecap was in his thigh and he kept trying to put it back in.
That's rank.
I saw my kneecap on top of my thigh. I sat down and pushed my kneecap back in, stood up, and it popped back out.
That's disgusting. Right, I'm
What
done.
an ending to the season.
What an ending to the podcast to have that announced. I'm done. Are you done?
Yeah.
Right. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Shake it easy.